Welcome back. It's 5:14. A popular TV and movie star is talking about how she suffered from multiple miscarriages. ABC's Rhiannon Ali has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, the OC star Rachel Bilson opening up about pregnancy loss.
We would like to acknowledge that we talk about things that could potentially be triggering.
During an intimate discussion on the latest episode of her podcast, Broad Ideas, Bilson sharing that she has suffered from multiple miscarriages.
And I've had miscarriages, so I've had losses, never carried, they were early on.
The actress successfully giving birth to her daughter Briar Rose back in 2014 and embracing the value of openly talking about the ups and downs that pregnancy can bring.
The most important part is to have discussion and to have support when this happens. But even in those instances, there's always hope, and especially when it comes to pregnancy.
We'll have much more coming up at 7 a.m. with your GMA First Look. I'm Rhiannon Ali, ABC News, New York.
And the time now is 5:15 and 76 degrees for now.
Apple has released its latest software update. Up next, the new features for AirDrop and Apple Music.
And TikTok announced the live global music event. Up next, when and where featured artists Cardi B and Charlie Puth will perform.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people like Sam who make
everyday products designed smarter.
Like a smart coffee grinder that orders fresh beans for you.
Oh, genius. For more breakthroughs like that,
I need a breakthrough card.
Like ours, with 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more.
Plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases.
And with greater spending potential, Sam can keep making smart ideas
a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card from Chase for Business. Make more of what's yours.
If you struggle with CPAP, you should check out Inspire. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Learn more and view important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
Watch this. We get the team it up, know that we making them nervous. This in the battle, we can't have discussion. I'm talking about doing the verses. So make it a good one.
Just about 5:19, X, formerly known as Twitter, has introduced a video and audio calling feature. ABC's Rhiannon Ali has details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, audio and video calls on the site formerly known as Twitter. It's X now, and it's began rolling out the feature, which allows users to chat with one another. Users can allow calls from verified users, people in your address book, or those you follow. Apple has released its latest software update with new features and a few fixes. iOS 17.1 comes with improvements to AirDrop aimed at reducing the number of failed transfers. And there are more options on Apple Music, including new cover art and an expanded favorites section. Finally, TikTok is planning its first ever in-person music festival. Cardi B, Anita, and Niall Horan are scheduled to perform along with others. The event is called TikTok in the Mix. It will be held December 10th in Mesa, Arizona, and ticket sales start through, what else? TikTok tomorrow. Those are your Tech Bites. I'm Rhiannon Ali. Have a great day.
Justin is handling traffic duties today.
Yeah. Yes, and I got to tell you, there's hardly anything going on right now, which is a good thing. So I'm going to take this opportunity to say real quick, we're going to be doing No Shave again this year. No Shave November coming up in, just a few days. Mike, Mark, you guys are participating.
We're in. Apparently, you're already winning.
Yeah, for now.
Boy, you can grow a beard quick.
Yes. I'm thinking about shaving it off and starting new. So
be very nice of you.
Yes. So anyway, I just want to get you prepared for that. We're going to be hopefully raising some money for a very good cause coming up in November and growing some beards, or in this case, losing a beard and growing it back. Just a heads up. Let's go out with TransGuide, show you that there's not a lot going on. Roads are actually really quiet. We have had some rain, as Mike will tell you here in just a minute, around the area, but not a lot here in town, at least at the moment. So the roads are dry and traffic is light. We know this will pick up. And we could get some rain moving in a little bit later this morning. So that could affect things. If you're heading out the door right now, though, no problems at all. We've got green across the board. I checked for any incidents here in San Antonio, and there are none. We have one stall, and that's it. Hopefully it continues this way the rest of the morning. But Mike, What are you thinking as far as rain moving in here during the morning commute?
We have got some that's now starting to surround the metropolitan area, not just in portions of the hill country. And so that's what we are going to be on the lookout for. There's the heaviest line right there. And as you can see, it's moving up to the north, but the whole thing is very slowly sliding to the east. And then a little bit closer in and around the metropolitan area, as you can see, we've got these few spots here and there. And just to zoom in a little bit closer, right there on the west side of town over there, just to the north of Castroville, some of these spots by Medina Lake. Boy, if that thing would just park over Medina Lake, that would be a blessing, obviously. Over by Lavernia, and you're getting some pretty good downpours there around Poth, Falls City, near Floresville. And that's one of the other things, because there is so much moisture in the atmosphere right now. And it just, if you could kind of, squeeze it out and compare it to what is normal, it's way on the far upside of normal, or way above normal, I should say. So that's why we are looking at some of these rainfall rates around here just to the west of Falls City. It's coming down. Let me clear that one out, because that one red spot right there, and see if we can pick it up. And that is coming down at the rate of, let's see, about 2-3 inches per hour. But then over there, right around Castroville, you've got some of these, and they were coming down a little bit heavier, and you've got these pockets right here. So you can see some pretty good downpours. And like I said, individually, things are not moving along all that quickly. So that, again, is what we're going to be dealing with here throughout the rest of the morning, are some of these cells that the whole line is going to work its way across the area. The individual cells work their way up to the north. So you're going to be getting a pretty good downpour there around Poth. So that's what we're going to have to watch out for. Brief heavy downpours, and those are going to, cause a little bit of ponding on some of the roads. That's what we'll have to be watching out for. All right, the front that we've been talking about for the weekend, it is 9 right now in Cut Bank, Montana, 19 in Casper, Wyoming. So we've got some really cold air. Wind chill is 1 up there in Cut Bank. Here's what it looks like jumping ahead into Sunday. We are going to start off just like we have been the past couple of days, a couple of showers around here. Then as we get into the late afternoon, the front starts to work its way through the hill country. Here in town, it's now looking like it's going to be dinner time, maybe just after that. Wind shift around, the colder air moves in. We will have some rain in behind, so it's going to be blustery, cold, raw. That's going to be the situation, especially on Monday. But temperatures will be in the low 80s by the afternoon, right before this front moves through on Sunday. Then temperature is going to be dropping like a rock. And as far as going into Monday, we're not going to be getting out of the 40s at all. So everything is going to be, we've got the rain this morning, then it's going to just be the scattered variety later on today. Same thing tomorrow, Saturday, starting Sunday. Front moves through here. Look at that. I think we actually dropped down a little bit during the day on Monday, mid 40s, blustery, wet to start Tuesday. I'm kind of holding out hope that most of the rain gets out of here by trick or treat time, but it is going to be cold on Tuesday. We'll be back after this.
Originally called Mary's Gold, the marigold is named after the Virgin Mary. But in Mexico, it's called cempasúchil, the flower of the dead. Placed on graves and used to decorate altars during the Day of the Dead, it's believed the flower's vibrant colors and strong scent can lure souls back to the living. Since they bloom in early summer and die at fall's first frost, they also symbolize the fragility of life. The name cempasúchil is Aztec and roughly translated to flower of many petals. For the Aztecs, the flower was sacred, and its bright color represented the sun. Native to the Americas, it was cultivated for decorative, magical, medicinal, and agricultural purposes. And they were thought to cure hiccups and were often planted near crops. As a matter of fact, the marigold produces a natural insecticide. Once Spanish explorers discovered the hardy plant, they took the seeds back to Europe. Now hundreds of varieties grow across the globe, including India, where the marigold has become an important ceremonial flower. For Hindus, the marigold symbolizes surrender to the divine.
Welcome back. It's 5:28. Well, KSAT and our community partners want to remind you to get your flu shot. There's one more chance for you to get a free vaccine courtesy of Bexar County and University Health. So that opportunity is on Saturday, November 4th from 8 a.m. to noon.
More ahead on GMSA right now, 528.
After 3 failed tries, Mike Johnson has been elected as the new Speaker of the House. Up next, how Johnson plans to get things going again in Washington.
Plus, how Airbnb is trying to scare away anyone planning to have disruptive Halloween parties this weekend.
It is a literal lifeline for people who need help from police or firefighters. The 911 system there for emergencies. But what happens when people abuse it? I'm Katrina Weber. I'll have that story coming up.
This morning, Louisiana Representative Mike Johnson has been elected the 56th Speaker of the House.
Country demands strong leadership of this body, and we must not waver.
Up next, how Johnson is planning to advance overdue spending legislation, make sure the government does not shut down next month.
And let's look out there with a live cam. No rain in this shot, but there is some rain a little bit in our viewing area. We're going to be checking in with Mike to see where.
And a good morning to you. It's Thursday, October 26th.
Happy Thursday. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, starting off humid again. I keep anticipating the colder weather. Keep opening that door. It's like, is it here yet? No, not yet.
That's going to be Sunday evening. Right. So we're counting down to that. We're going to talk about that. But first, we got to talk about all the rain that has happened in parts of the hill country. And it looks like, and I'm just looking at this live cam over there by the airport. It does look like the road is, or excuse me, over there on I-10, beg your pardon. It does look like the road may be on the damp side, that there have been a few showers there. Again, the majority have been up in parts of the hill country. 77 right now, just a ton of humidity. And there's so much humidity in the atmosphere. It is way above what is normal this time of year. And so that's why we are seeing some of these very hefty downpours. The very latest right now is the fact that we do have a new flood warning for eastern Gillespie County, and this is in effect up until 8:30 this morning. And then there are some other flood warnings as well in portions of the hill country. And once again, take note that the individual cells here are working their way primarily to the north, and this whole line is going to continue to work its way to the east very, very slowly. All right, a little bit closer in toward the metropolitan area. I want to show you where we've got some of these cells, and there's not really, like I said, a heck of a lot. But again, some of these are dumping some fairly decent rain. I want to check out some of the rainfall rates very quickly. And since it is moving slowly, that's the problem. You get these rainfall rates that are, like I said, coming down pretty good, and it's not moving quickly. So that's why some of the usual spots that may, hold some water, some of the low water crossings, specifically right down here around Floresville, as well as near Poth, and that one cell right there heading in toward Floresville, we're picking up a rainfall rate of just about, that's coming in. Let me get that one spot right there. I apologize. I'm not hitting exactly where I need to get it to get that to show up. But that's coming down, it had been at the rate of about 4 to 6 inches per hour. And then further on out here in toward Castroville, that one little spot right in there is also dumping rain at a very strong rate at right about, let me get that query right there, about 2 inches per hour. That's just to the south of that one little bullseye right there. So again, some fairly decent downpours, and all of these are working their way right up to the north to northeast. So we will continue to see some of these work their way into the metropolitan area and in through San Antonio over the course of the morning. Now, as far as allergens, mold is on the moderate side, ragweed is low. We're going to have showers, storms, primarily north, some heavy pockets of rain, and then later on today it's just going to be sort of the scattered variety, warm, humid, same as we've been seeing the past few days. That's going to be the case tomorrow as well as on Saturday. Sunday, yeah, same thing. Throughout most all of the day, we will make it up to the low 80s. Then that cold front comes through right after dinner time, early evening hours, and boy, Monday it is going to be cold, windy, wet. Just call it a raw day on Monday. You will definitely need to bundle up, and it's going to be cold trick-or-treating. All the details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority. So no problems, Justin?
Not right now. And Mike, that's where you and I are different, right? You're excited about this cold weather? Me, not so much. That's okay. I know a lot of people here in San Antonio are excited about the cold weather. But before we get there, Mike just showed you the radar. There is rain starting to get a little bit closer to San Antonio. So far, we have not had any issues. I don't anticipate that to last, just because once we get some of this heavy rain, there's going to be some ponding on the roadways. Hydroplaning is so very easy when you get that initial rain, you get some of the oils from the road, and it becomes a real problem. But as we look out there right now on TransGuide, it is smooth sailing. Now's a good time if you want to head in early to work before some of that rain gets here. May not be a bad idea. There's 37 at Indian Wells, 410 at Jackson Keller. No problems whatsoever. And we can see that here on the traffic authority map. Everything is green. Even some of the construction up there on 1604, we're not detecting any issues. So good right now. Again, we'll watch the rain. That will start to affect the morning commute. And then if anything pops up, we'll be here to let you know, guys.
Thank you, Justin. In Maine, police say at least 20 people are dead after a man opened fire at a bar and a bowling alley in Lewiston. Now, police are searching for a person of interest who is a trained firearms instructor. Hundreds of law enforcement officers are seeking Robert Card after last night's shooting, and shelter-in-place orders are in place for Maine's second largest city and for nearby Lisbon. A police bulletin says that Card was a firearms instructor believed to be in the Army Reserve and assigned to a training facility in Maine. The bulletin did not provide details about his treatment or condition, but said Card had reported hearing voices and threats to shoot up the military base.
Now to the new Speaker of the House after weeks of disagreement in Washington.
Many people are asking, who is Mike Johnson? ABC's Andrea Fujii explains what the new Speaker has to get done before potential government shutdown.
After more than 3 weeks, the House has finally elected a Speaker, Congressman Mike Johnson of Louisiana.
The Honorable Mike Johnson of the state of Louisiana, having received a majority of the votes cast, is duly elected Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Having served only 6.5 years in Congress, he has the least experience of any Speaker in 140 years. Johnson is known for his conservative views and led efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election results.
The country demands strong leadership of this body, and we must not waver.
He's earned the support of former President Trump, who is taking credit for Johnson's win.
This time yesterday, nobody was thinking of Mike, and then we put out the word, and now he's the Speaker of the House.
Congressman Matt Gaetz nicknaming him MAGA Mike Johnson.
If you don't think that moving from Kevin McCarthy to MAGA Mike Johnson shows the ascendance of this movement and where the power in the Republican Party truly lies, then you're not paying attention.
Johnson now in a crucial role for the 2024 election certification, but President Biden says he's not concerned.
Just like I was not worried that the last guy would be able to overturn the election.
The Biden campaign using Johnson's win to garner support, sending out a fundraising email saying it only underscores why it's more important than ever that we win by just as big and decisive of a margin as we did in 2020. The first vote under Speaker Johnson yesterday was a resolution supporting Israel. The House must also take up funding for Ukraine, something Johnson has questioned in the past. Another crucial task is a looming government shutdown, with government funding set to expire November 17th. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
A study released by the FDA found that the flu and COVID-19 vaccines may slightly increase the risk of stroke in seniors caused by blood clots in the brain, in particular when the two shots were administered at the same time. FDA researchers analyzed data from Medicare claims and found that the increase happened in adults who are 85 or older. For those who are concerned, researchers suggest receiving the shots at different times.
U.S. Supreme Court has rejected a challenge to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' multi-billion agreement for online sports betting throughout the state. As a result, online sports betting could soon be available in the Sunshine State. The agreement between Florida and the Seminole Tribe is slated to bring in $2.5 billion in new revenue over the next 5 years.
An Atlanta area Dunkin' franchisee is paying a woman $3 million to settle a lawsuit over hot coffee falling on her lap. The unnamed woman says a February 2021 incident caused severe burns and life-altering injuries. Her attorney said the lid came off after she was given the drink and the coffee spilled on her lap, causing second and third degree burns to her thighs, groin, and abdomen. Corporate parent Dunkin' isn't named in the lawsuit and did not respond for a comment.
Time now is 5:40 and 76 degrees for now.
Just ahead, you'll soon have to pay more for your favorite shows on Apple TV+. Plus,
how Airbnb is using AI to prevent disruptive and unauthorized Halloween parties this weekend.
Outside with live cams, some of you are again waking up to showers out there. Some pretty heavy rainfall in some spots. Still tracking that cold front for late in the weekend. How cold will it be and when will the front be here? We'll talk about it coming up.
Welcome back. It's 5:44 in your morning consumer headlines. Watching Ted Lasso and the morning show is about to set you back more. Apple is raising the price of its Apple TV Plus streaming service, and that hike brings it to $10 a month or $99 for the year. Now that's up $3 from $7 a month or $30 more if you pay for it the entire year. The last time prices went up was a year ago. This is the latest streaming service to raise prices this year, joining Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max.
Ahead of Halloween, Airbnb is using artificial intelligence to crack down on disruptive and unauthorized parties this coming weekend. The company says its state-of-the-art system works to prevent certain potentially high-risk 1- and 2-night whole home bookings. The AI-driven anti-party system looks at hundreds of signals that could indicate a higher risk for a disruptive or unauthorized party. That includes trip length, distance to the home, and whether the booking is last minute. Last Halloween, the company's anti-party system deterred thousands of people from booking a whole home listing on their platform.
Time now, it's 5:45 and 76 degrees for now.
Stay with us here on GMSA. San Antonio Humane Society is up next with this puppy that needs a new home.
Well, if you hear little grumbling noises,
that's not me. Not me this morning.
So, who do you have there?
So I have cute little Snowana. Snowana is a about 3-month-old little terrier mix. Lots of puppy energy this morning, really early this morning. So definitely going to be one that's going to want to go play and run. Probably a good sized medium dog. Good puppy kisses. But yes. Short hair.
Easy to take care of.
Easy to take care of,
and
for
not
sure.
going to be a giant dog.
No.
Good
medium size. Yeah.
Snuggle with. So
somebody on the floor.
Good size to fit in.
Yes. Our little pet beds. Yes.
That is.
Yeah. So you can purchase these. These are made by one of our volunteers who donates them back to us, and then we sell them. And so all the proceeds come right back. She makes them. We have all the holiday theme ones out right now. So you've got fall, Halloween, and then around Christmas, we'll have the Christmas ones out too.
And she just does this in the kitchen and you sell them.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And you can get that.
Course, they've got everything you need, leashes, chew toys, because you need a lot of chew toys. You've got all that puppy energy, right?
Lots of puppy energy. Like I said, especially this morning, was running around in her kennel, just ready to play.
So even if you don't adopt, you can go there and do a little bit of shopping. Yes. They have everything you need.
Yeah. So. Get your pet something. So
right
for
over there on Fredericksburg, just outside Loop 410. They are always in need of volunteers, fosters, donations. Give them a call, 226-7461 or sahumane.org. Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
And let's take a quick check of the roads. Once again, it's been quiet so far. No complaints here. It's been a good Thursday morning. As we look at TransGuide, still not a lot of traffic, but of course we know the peak of the morning commute is still about an hour away or so. Roads are dry for now, but Mike will tell you here in a second that the rain's approaching San Antonio from the west especially, although we've got a few showers on the east side too. So if you do encounter one of those downpours, know that the rain's going to be kind of heavy. You're going to have to use the windshield wipers at a pretty rapid rate. But all green here across the city of San Antonio. We don't see this too often, so this, again, is good news. If you're heading out the door right now, all looks good. And there are no problem spots, not even any stalls that we detect here as far as the morning commute goes. So one more check of TransGuide here. 37 Fair Avenue looks good. Roads are dry there. Same story as you get over towards 37 and Indian Hills.
Always makes us just a little nervous when it's this quiet on the road.
True.
I agree. Fingers crossed it continues this way.
But like Justin was just alluding to, we do have rain kind of all around San Antonio right now, and more showers will start to move in as the morning rolls on. So here's what it looks like on radar at the moment. Of course, the focus overnight has been up in portions of the hill country, and we do have still those flash flood warnings up there. We've had anywhere from 4 to 6 inches of rain estimated in parts of the hill country, and then a little closer in close to town. Notice this cell, which is heading in toward Bernie right there, and everything is moving up to the north to maybe northeast a little bit at a good 15-20 miles per hour. We do have a couple of fairly potent cells. This one right here, which is working its way right across 10 in toward Marion and New Berlin, just to the east of Schertz, a little further to the south, right around Livernia. And then you've been getting a whole bunch of rain right here in around Floresville, and this is sliding up in toward Stockdale, Sutherland Springs, and then further on off to the west. Now, again, most of these, they're working their way, and I want to put this back into motion right now, and you can see almost straight up to the north, but then there's a few more of these cells developing down here to the south, and they may be small, but they are kind of potent as far as rainfall rates, some 4, 5, 6 inches per hour, and so that's why we're going to have to watch out, because when it comes down, it's going to come down pretty hard and heavy and then move on out of here. But all this will continue again to move in toward San Antonio over the course of the morning. So that's what we are going to have to be on the lookout for. And we will have some rain around here. So here's satellite picture, and you can see everything which is moving up to the north and slowly working its way off to the east. Then we go up to the north, and notice how that all turns into snow up there in the northern Rockies and up around the U.S.-Canadian border. And that's because, again, we've got these temperatures which are just brutally cold up there. 19 Casper, 9 Cut Bank right now. And it's all right along this. Notice how there's the jet stream right there. And that's the dividing line between the warm air and the cold air. But also take note, this how these little lines go really fast right here and a little jet streak. That's what's helping to spawn some of these showers around here, that little disturbance sliding on through. That's why we're getting the rain as of right now. The mass of cold air will continue to slowly push its way down to the south, but it's going to take until Sunday to really get on in here, and then it's going to be Sunday evening when the surface front moves on through. But notice how we still have this overrunning on top of it, so we'll still have clouds and rain around here, and this really cold air will continue to just kind of push its way into the area, and that's why Monday, Tuesday especially are going to be very cold around here, and it's going to be wet and blustery on Monday. Right now, it's looking like the rain will be out of here in time for trick-or-treating, but it's going to be cold on Halloween. Pretty much consistent weather all the way through Sunday, late afternoon, evening. That front moves through. Temperatures drop down. The winds are going to be picking up. Temperatures are going to be dropping down a good 15, almost 20 degrees as soon as this thing moves on through here. We'll have rain overnight, wet on Monday, cold, blustery, as I like to say, grilled cheese and soup weather. And look at that, just in the 40s. By the way, this doesn't even take into account good old wind chills down in the 30s to start off on Monday. We'll be back after this.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, the very latest on the breaking news that we are all following. The horrific mass shooting in Maine at a bowling alley packed with people during a children's league and also at a restaurant. The suspect is still at large, so our team is on the scene in Maine this morning. And then we'll talk about the new Speaker of the House and what comes next with the government shutdown looming. You'll see those stories and so much more right here on GMA.
And ahead in our next hour of GMSA, Victor Wembanyama's debut didn't go as Spurs fans had hoped, but there were still plenty of highlights from last night's matchup with the Mavs. Plus, Katrina Weber shows us misuse and abuse of the 911 system that's been causing problems that may affect all of us. And Justin is got us covered on traffic. It's been a quiet morning so far.